Hey there YouTube, I'm Yukitsu, this is the Yukitsu Times, welcome to my channel, welcome to a little bit of Stellaris. So I'm actually going to be doing something a little bit weird here. We're going to be alternating back and forth between Stellaris and the space, and we're going to try and put out a video of each of them at the same time. We're going to sort of be comparing them at the same time and talking a little bit about each of them. So we're starting off with Stellaris here. I'm going to be comparing them just a little bit as well while we're at it, but in any event, we've got ourselves our first a new faction, and this is kind of a weird one that I've got here. This is based loosely off of a faction I had designed in a D&D campaign where I was playing as a character. Now, if you ever have the misfortune of playing D&D with me, there's sort of saying for DM advice where it's just like, if you ever want to dissuade a player from like usurping the king and taking their position, because it is very easy from a logical standpoint for players to usurp a king in D&D or whatever, because they're very, very powerful adventurers, so on and so forth. Make them manage and administrate their kingdom afterwards, and that will turn them off of that idea for forever. The problem is that that's actually what I prefer doing, is the large-scale micromanagement, so I pretty much always take leadership, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, this is based off loosely a faction that I had designed. So, in any event, we've got ourselves a random leader here. This has got resilience, so that she'll live 25 years longer, and space miner, so constructor build cost minus 25% and mining station build cost minus 25%. So those are fairly good perks for the start. For governing ethics, we've gone for egalitarian, pacifist, and spiritualist. Now, none of these are quite on the mark, but they're very, very close to what we're looking for. Egalitarian was because it was a sort of communistic society that I developed there. Pacifist kind of works. The way that this works in this game is that pacifism is not real pacifism. If you've got normal pacifism, which we have here, you can actually still declare wars on people, and you can still annex their territory by turning those into vassal states. And once you sort of turn those into vassal states, you can then indirectly take them over. So this isn't really a pacifist nation. It just was one that works on more diplomacy and subversion than through direct conquest. Next up, we've got the spiritualist, and again, this isn't quite right. It was a highly magical society that I made, and spiritualism is close enough. It gives you psionic powers, so it kind of works. For civics, we've got meritocracy, very meritocratic society that was. Agrarian idle, farms produce one unity, and these I would have actually preferred it if this produced more food, but this will work okay as well, I guess. Actually, well, this is a powerful ability, I guess. I don't really know. Anyway, for authority, we've got democratic. So elections every once in a while, that's going to be perfectly fine. We can check our demographics here and our populations here. They've got talented and rapid breeders, so also somewhat characteristic of that group in there. Now, the leader of that was actually an elf, but the actual majority of the citizens were human. So kind of another disconnect there in that I can't really sort of split it because, well, I could, but I don't really feel like it by taking syncretic evolution. But in any event, let's go ahead and start scouting around here. And we've got ourselves our first through third strike force. Now that we've got this, we've got it set so that only hyperlanes can be used. I played another game and actually completed it, and I could not tolerate playing it with sort of the mixed varieties of warp, because it's just super annoying trying to deal with the way that AI sort of abuses the ever-loving hell out of it. So we're going to go ahead and send our ships around. Actually, okay, I need a... Okay, there we go. So this is a tiny map this time. We are on a more sort of spread out sort of map here. Gonna just send our scout ships off to their imminent demise, and that is perfectly fine. Alright, so we can see immediately a couple choke point areas, so we're gonna hopefully be able to really fortify up those sectors, and that's gonna be quite nice if we can. But if we can't, well, I suppose we could always put in just, actually, let's scout towards this way. Yeah, so basically there's only certain lanes that can lead into my territory for certain sides, so this becomes an incredibly key place, or this place, and we can, in fact, fortify up both of those territories with stations and fleets and stuff like that. But it's going to be a little bit harder, it looks like, to defend on the other side of things. That's fine, though. And we'll have them go down this way. Alright, so that should all be fine. Let's check out what type of research we can get. Well, we can start with the solar panel networks, and that would be fine, but we could also start with this with the power plants. Ooh, we got a pretty good scientist here. I'm going to go with the power plant. I do think that that's just more all in all powerful for these things. Let's go ahead and go for... I think we're going to start with the naval capacity just to get that now, as opposed to having to wait for it to come up. It's really crappy now, but all of those were really crappy now. We'll go with the mining networks as well here. So a little bit unfortunate that we're kind of getting a little bit of redundant text there. Now, we can actually wait to get the system mined up and researched with our science vessel. Let's check what we got here. We got anomaly research speed bonus speed, so that's not really great. Let's see what we can get for new researchers here. We have actually got fairly high level researchers, but yeah, I'm not seeing anything too great here. I could replace with adaptability. Getting adaptable on our on this particular one actually does help quite a bit. I could, if I wanted to, just realize that, yeah, let's actually get our science ship here, and you can take the adaptable one, and then our science here can be the available one. So yeah, this is not going to be any bonus at all, but this means that I've got adaptable, so we'll be able to level up to 5 faster. We'll be able to complete our quests a little bit faster. So let's go ahead and get the game get started here. That should be fine. Our ships should be sending out their tendrils, as it were. Now, I do have the sort of people here listed as being human, but that, again, isn't quite represented by the look. It is kind of funny that this game actually has space elves, although I suppose it's actually supposed to be Vulcans or something, is my guess. Who knows? So anyway, we'll hopefully be able to find some stuff. I have got it set so that there is 3 enemy empires and 1 fallen empire, so we'll have to see how that goes for us. They might, you know, just attack us out of the blue or something like that, who knows. Although, since I'm pacifistic, that makes it less likely that we will get attacked. People are more likely to attack you if you're something like militaristic, xenophobic. Looking around here, we got a nice continental world. And an arid world right beside it. Now, I've also set it up so that we are playing on a on the setting where I've got more planets that are habitable than the standard, and this is just because I find that if I'm on hard difficulty or harder, the AI just takes off way too fast, and it's hard for me to actually keep up with them. So it's a little bit important for me to be able to sort of do something to keep on board. Not necessarily the easiest thing in the world, but whatever. Alright, so our monthly gain for Unity is +5 per month. It'll only take us 12 months to get our Unity up there. I should probably actually be checking around the Traxxas Badlands like right away, just to make sure that I can actually expand down to there, but it's not like I could do anything about it. So, finding lots of non-habitable places as well, like the Savannah and Arctic worlds. So, especially some of these like 22 and 23, that's pretty major. Well, we'll see how things go. Betelgeuse down here. So the only thing that we've got so far is Eriga, which is kind of okay, because we could sort of get to there and then get this arid world terraformed or something like that, or we could sub-branch our species, or we could find another species, conquer, or something like that, or even integrate, potentially. It's looking like we got a little bit of breathing space, unless there's someone right in the Traxxas Badlands. Although if that is the case, then that is another faction that's sort of blocking that pass for us. So we won't necessarily have to defend it if there is someone there, but you never know. We'll see how things go. Alright. None of my ships have gotten randomly blown up by aliens, and in fact I haven't actually encountered any aliens yet. It's got me a little bit worried. One of the interesting things, though, is that I do warp out much faster thanks to the fact that we're using these hyperlanes. So scouting's a lot faster in some ways. Although, okay, so we've encountered our first aliens. What have we got here? And will I be able to escape that? It's looking like mining ships, so that's actually quite good for us. We'll be able to fairly easily take those out in the sort of mid-game. Early mid-game. Maybe even late early game, I guess. It depends on how you want to look at it. Alright, we're starting to encounter... Also, these things are nice because you can research some contacts with them and get some pretty good stuff out of them. So we'll see how that goes. Now, we have got Spiritualists. That means we can go for a Psionic game here. And I'm debating whether I want to go Psionics, which emphasizes that sort of magical nature that I had going with this particular faction. Or I could be going for the other thing that they did, which is bioengineering. They did a lot of biosculpting in that faction in D&D. So I could go that route as well. But I can't go both in this game. You are limited to one of the two. So it kind of sucks that you are limited in that way and can't just take all three of them if you wanted to, like be biologically sculpted cyborgs with psionic powers. Like, why not? Why can't you be that? You know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that you can't. But either way, that's fine. Alright, so this is going to be a little bit risky. Yeah, no, I should be okay. I don't think there's any angle that I can actually jump into the system and actually get attacked, so it's probably okay. Alright, so I'm not seeing anywhere in particular I want to put down an initial settlement. So let's go ahead to our home capital here. Surface. This is looking pretty okay, but I'm going to go ahead and actually clear out this sprawling slum here. And the reason that we're going to do that is that we can actually start getting a little bit faster population growth, and that'll help out with a whole bunch of other crap going on there. This is definitely going to result in my ship getting blown up here. Okay, so the mining hub is here, and this is much more aggressive. Much harder for me to warp out from this, and also, yeah, it's going to be 15 more days before my guy can get out here, so my guy's dead. But the thing is, like, this being in my back pocket is quite good in some respects, because if I can kill it, we'll be able to get a ton of resources out of that, as well as some unique techs. So getting us towards the stage where we can actually take that out is not really going to be a bad thing either. Alright, we're seeing a 19-tile continental in one of the linchpin areas. It's not actually there, but the boundary should actually take Traxxas Badlands, Chohar, rather, pretty quickly. So we must have encountered... Yeah, we were in the boundary of some other guy's faction there. Okay, so we'll scout around here. Okay, we'll do it this way. Actually. Just gonna actually send this guy, like, on a journey throughout, like, everywhere, basically. Okay. Okay, so I need to actually scout down here as well, pretty badly, because this is, after all, the sort of linchpin sector. Comet sighting, it's a good omen. Unity plus 32, that's actually really good. Okay, so we can go ahead and adopt Discovery right now. So that's fine, and we can go ahead and start working towards Boldly Go pretty quickly. That'll only take us 14 months, thanks in part to that big boost that we got. So I'm kind of liking that. Now, we can't explore down here for a while until we clear out these alien vessels. So that's just dead space to us, basically. We can't do anything with that. But hopefully we'll be able to get there fairly eventually. I don't know, but yeah. Not much we can do about it. Either way, should have gotten that tile blocker cleared, I believe. Yep, looks like it. Okay, so for now, I don't really need the minerals since we're not buying anything right now. And we'll go ahead and build ourselves another hydroponics farm. This is going to have the added benefit of getting us an extra point of unity per turn, which is basically our culture, of course. Now, I have actually got the Leviathans DLC, so it would be nice if we could find the either Leviathan or some traders, which would be helpful to us, obviously. If we could find some traders, that would be absolutely beneficial, but we'll see how things go. Probably going to try and keep these episodes a little bit shorter, so I should actually probably be calling this episode fairly soon, but that's probably okay if we take a little bit of our time. Now, I could start pumping out a couple of our Paragon-class corvettes here, and the reason that we might want to get some of those fairly early on is just that we're not running into that problem where pirates start spawning and just wipe me out, but honestly, there's not a ton you can do about it, so I'm just going to have to sort of deal with that. Let's see here, Ruined Sentry Array. Okay, so I think this is a wonder here that can be rebuilt. Yeah, so I think that can be rebuilt. It's not really something I'm too interested in. This is an interesting system, though, because it looks like it's been one of the ones that is the site of an ancient war, and you can definitely see the indications of that. So Probably quite a lot that you could learn from a science ship down there, but again, we're not quite at the point where we're doing anything with that. I'm feeling almost like we were seeing some slightly better stuff down by Iber, but we'll see what sort of worlds these guys have. In fact, what kind of worlds do they inhabit? They inhabit desert worlds, so the irony is I think a lot of these places are actually not that habitable to them, although the Savannah world there is. Arctic world, desert world, tropical world. So if I could rush down to the tropical world and colonize it, that would be a real dick move, but it would also be kind of funny. Alright, so we're seeing over here, yeah, nothing great over here either. What I really would like is a Gaia world, because you get pretty big happiness boost for having a Gaia world under your possession as the particular faction, the spiritualist faction of your government. So, something like that ought to do. Alright. It's a pretty nice tropical world over there, so we could also start bridging the gap and heading out towards this side of things, but we'll see how things go. Game is a lot less exciting when you sort of go the sort of route that I'm going here in terms of research, or sort of not research rather, as it were. Speaking of, how are we doing here? It's going to take us still crap tons of time before we actually research any of that. That's fun. Okay. Oh wow, we still haven't actually finished that stupid farm yet. Well, I guess I am just on normal speed, so... So yeah, the early game of this game, it's very awkward. It's a lot more janky than in Endless Space if you're going to play a sort of... if you're going to play like a 4X space game and you're really interested in jumping straight into an exciting early game, I think that this has a lot of potential as far as scouting goes, but that's about it. Everything else about it's kind of weird. It takes an awful long time before you sort of ramp into being able to do certain things. Let's check our policies, actually. Do I want to encourage free thought here? I think we can encourage free thought, actually, so let's go ahead and do that. I don't need our influence too badly. Alright, so how much? 5 more months for our Unity pops. Good. Okay. So I think if we want to defend this area, if we have Istrum and this place locked down, that gets us quite a lot of space to play as our own here. All this back here becomes ours and becomes very, very difficult for anyone else to get to, and we could sort of stop people from traveling through our territories. And then we can sort of focus on one side or the other, or what have you, at that point. And then maybe if we decide we can push out into this area, we could actually try to get a grip on over here and over here, and that would get us another sort of front line, and then sort of if there's someone up here or something like that, we could sort of try to take them out to control this huge sector. So that would be potentially a great way to have just a small number of places and choke points. This is why I've actually got it set to hyperlanes. It feels a little bit more strategic when you've got them set on. In any event, though, yeah, that's going as it's going. Let's check actually our surface here. How are we doing for population growth? It's going to take us a bloody long time, isn't it? I bet it is. Even with rapid breeders, it takes so long for habitability to kick in because we still haven't gotten to our population cap. Actually, we have got to our population cap. What the hell? Why is it still going to take us so long? Let's see here. Well, whatever. Alright, so we've got another spot up here. It's not actually a good one, though. Tons of plants, but none of them are that colonizable. What we're looking for are those ones that have like 20 or whatever. Oh, this is going to be probably... Yeah, it's just these energy cloud things. Don't need to worry about them that much. Not going to really care about that, so... What I would like to encounter are the space cows, because those have... Or, not space cows. Is it the space cows? I can't remember, actually. Some other things out there that give you pretty interesting and powerful bonuses. Just can't remember who they are right now. Okay. Alright, so... Alright, so we've countered these guys. They are authoritarian, xenophobic, and materialist. So they are basically the exact opposite of us. Okay, so what's going to piss them off the least? Okay, so they don't mind that I'm a pacifist, basically. I think I'm going to go pacifist, whatever. This changes everything, blah, blah, blah. Alright, let's get to build go. That's fine. Alright, and I think we're going to call it an episode here. And as per usual with this game, fairly slow start, but that's really not that surprising. So anyway, we're going to start pumping out some military ships, especially because we're going to be activating pretty soon the Pirates event, which is always a fun ride. But in any event, hope you found this video enjoyable. I do enjoy this game, but it is very, very slow to start. So hopefully we'll be able to sort of get things going a little bit more quickly, but in any event, hope you found this episode enjoyable, and of course, as always, hope to see you guys all next time.